I study sleep for a living. I know what it looks like when a brain shuts down, the slow delta waves, the body's quiet surrender, the strange theater of REM. I have mapped hundreds of minds in the dark. I thought I understood what happens when we close our eyes. I was wrong. It started small, things I could not quite explain, my coffee mug on the wrong side of the sink, a chair pulled out when I was certain I pushed it back, crumbs on the kitchen counter from bread I had not touched. I told myself I was tired, overworked. I spent 12 hours a day analyzing other people's sleep. Maybe mine was suffering for it. Then I found the journal. It was in my desk drawer, shoved beneath a stack of patient files, a plain black notebook I did not remember buying. The handwriting inside was mine, unmistakably mine, down to the way I loop my lowercase e. But I had not written a word of it. She suspects the chair. She will not suspect the journal. I set up a camera that night. I mounted it in the corner of my bedroom, angled at the bed, wide enough to catch the door, the desk, the window. I told myself it was research, professional curiosity. I went to sleep, or at least I tried to. I lay there for what felt like hours before my eyes grew heavy and the room went dark. I reviewed the footage the next morning with trembling hands. At 2:17 in the morning, I got up, not stumbling, not shuffling the way sleepwalkers do in the studies. I rose calmly, smoothly, and walked to the desk with purpose. I sat down, opened the journal, and wrote for 11 minutes. Then I closed it, returned to bed, and lay back down. My eyes were open the entire time. I called my colleague Dr. Reyes and asked him to review my sleep data from the past 6 months. When he called back, he was quiet for a long time before he spoke. He said my REM activity was unlike anything he had ever seen, not disordered, not pathological, just elevated, extraordinarily elevated. My brain during sleep showed more activity, more coherence, more complex pattern formation than my waking scans. The sleeping version of me was not diminished, she was more. I opened the journal and read every entry. She did not describe confusion or darkness. She described a room, a warm room with different light. She described the sensation of being real in a way she could not explain, and the frustration of watching through a kind of fog. She described me, my days, my routines, my research. She wrote about watching me with a quiet, patient sadness. She thinks she is the one who is awake. That is how it always starts. I read the last entry 3 times. Tonight I will tell her the research she is chasing, the thing she thinks she is about to discover. It is not what she thinks. She is not studying sleep. She is studying the seam, the place where one world ends and another begins. She has been mapping the border between us without knowing it, and now she is standing right at the edge. I have left her enough clues. I have been patient. If she is reading this, it means she is close to what I said aloud. I turned to the next page. There was one more entry. The ink was still wet, close to understanding that she is on the wrong side. I looked up at the camera in the corner of the room. The recording timestamp read 3:47 in the morning. I was asleep right now. I had to be. This was the fog she always wrote about, the dim rehearsal of a life being lived somewhere more real. I felt the room begin to soften at the edges, and the last clear thought I had before the dark was not who wrote that final entry, it was who is watching the footage right now.